Well, this is the road I chose, so I might as well keep going. So, in July 2024, I was recommended a teaser trailer for a new Netflix film called Spellbound. Now, I was immediately annoyed by our main lead because she's just another fairy tale protagonist who's
a bit quirky at night.
But that's not important. What's important is that Spellbound is the second movie from Skydance Animation. Now, the words Skydance Animation might not ring a bell to you, but they definitely do for me.
You're not dancing. You're the opposite of bad.
My doll horse from Sweden.
Have you ever tried grilled cheese?
Okay, other than Luck being so bad and baffling me enough to make a video out of it, its head of animation is still none other than John Lasseter. And Skydance Animation will not let you forget that fact because they flashed it in my face as much as they could before anything else in the trailer. So all I knew about Spellbound from this god-awful trailer is that A, the main girl is so quirky, and B, John Lasseter is still the head of Skydance Animation. Which are two things I don't need or want really to know before suffering through this movie. Oh, and the co-director for Shrek is here to direct. Why not just make that list longer and add Shark Tale while we're at it? Like, did you even know this was a fairy tale musical movie? With music by the Alan Menken? I only knew that because of Wikipedia. And apparently Netflix knew they messed up too because they made a follow-up trailer that was just as annoying as the first one to make up for it. Okay, obviously it wasn't as annoying as the first one because Alan Menken deserves all the hype he gets, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm curious to know if Spellbound is an improvement to Skydance Animation's lackluster debut, or will it just be known as a poor attempt at recreating a classic Disney fairy tale musical, much like how Luck is a poor attempt at recreating a Pixar film? Grab some leftover cake as we take a look at Spellbound.
Sure, woohoo, I'm a princess.
The movie starts off as we follow a group of Griffin riders returning to the Kingdom of Lumbria. And Alan Menken's score is already making me emotional. It's giving The Little Mermaid, and I really miss this. Anyways, it's here we find out that one of the Griffin riders is Ellian, voiced by Rachel Zegler, who is also the princess of the kingdom. Not that the other riders matter. I mean, they don't even have names. They're literally just here to spoon feed me.
That's the glamorous life of a princess.
We'll see you tonight at your birthday party.
Super cash. Super small.
Really? That's not like you.
Ellian returns to the castle where ministers Nazara and Bolinar are keeping her big secret from the rest of the kingdom. Okay, two big secrets. Giant monsters formerly known as the King and Queen of Lumbria. And this is where we get our first song from the movie. My Parents Are Monsters.
Like actual monsters, for real!
Now, on the surface, the song is fairly serviceable. Ellian introduces us to her new confined world thanks to the secrecy, and explains how the monsters came to be. And the ministers sympathize with Ellian for stepping up to her new responsibilities while dealing with her parents' new forms.
She's the calm and mature one.
But I really don't like this song. Thanks to one teensy tiny problem. Actually, make that two teensy tiny problems. One, the song uses the word monsters way too many times, man.
Monsters, monsters, monsters,
Monsters! Monsters!
monster, monster,
Brother.
monsters, monsters, monsters,
What did you say about my brother?
monsters!
Which I could overlook if it worked for two. Actually, I'll just show you.
Come on, Flink. Here we go again.
Like, why is she staring into my soul? Do I owe her money? Am I supposed to stare back? I mean, usually when these characters sing, they're singing to someone else, if not themselves. Rapunzel starts off her song with Pascal because she's getting them into her routine, and we end the song with her wondering out loud about whether or not Gothel will finally let her go see the lanterns. Mirabelle starts off her song with herself because she's trying to calm down after her family ignored her, and ends with her singing to the miracle because she's asking to be a part of it. Belle sings to herself because she's bored of the town's monotonous routine, and Sing reads to sheep because everyone's illiterate. But here, we clearly see Ellian leading Flink into the song, but then immediately switches to a fourth wall break by visually addressing the audience. It's so weird, and I don't like it. Plus, it's only her. Bolinar and Nazara sing to each other. And why does she look so happy here when the lyrics she's singing are expressing emotional distress? I admire the visuals for matching the lyrics, but some choices are in need of a second opinion. Back to the movie. After a Family Guy cutaway butt joke,
Master of the spoken word. Colonoscopies.
we learn that it's been 1 year since the king and queen were cursed, and Ellian is running out of options for finding a cure before the general is onto them. This frustration doesn't last long because one lamer Shrek 2 trumpet joke and another unnecessarily long bird guy joke later.
But the other—
Simon.
Seriously, why is it so long?
He was a good bird.
He was like a son to me.
Ellian finally gets a message back from the oracles of the sun and moon that informs her of their arrival tonight at her birthday party. Meanwhile, Bolinar and Nazara are struggling to keep the kingdom together without their rulers.
I am a mother-loving national treasure.
But Nazara proposes a new solution to their problem through the song Step by Step.
Don't you wish that we could gutsy up the place again?
Honestly, I don't have much to say about this one, other than the weird choice of making it a flamenco when the world building of the movie clearly hints at Lumbria as an Arabian-inspired kingdom. The choreography looks cool though. So the ministers propose that they send away the king and queen, a la your pet went away to the ranch style, and have Ellian assume the throne now that she is of age, which is apparently 15? I mean, that's 3 years until she gets to give her wish in a ceremony. And Ellian agrees on one condition, to try the oracles first. The birthday party is as well as it gets.
Hey!
Two away, sire.
Dad!
Until the oracles of the sun and moon, Sunny and Luno, arrive.
Excellent service, Lawrence. I'm giving you 5 stars.
After realizing that Ellian's descriptions were in a literal sense,
I thought it was a metaphor. I thought you are just being dramatic.
Sunny and Luno conclude that the parents were cursed by the darkness from the dark forest of eternal darkness,
So dark, they named it twice.
and they need to be changed back soon. But before they can sing us the answer to her problems, the king and queen fail to eat them, and Ellian lashes out before sadly agreeing to the ministers' proposal.
What have you done? That was our only chance to break the spell!
Later that night, which, side note, why did they have the oracles come during the day when they announced their arrival at night?
That's my birthday! That's tonight!
It's like having Can You Feel the Love Tonight set during the day in the remake. Like, make it make sense? You're an animated movie. It's not even a filming problem. Like, there is nothing keeping you from having the birthday party at night. Why would you even specify? And isn't it weird that she has to open up the gate when she could have just slid the cake through the gaps? Anyways, Ellian spends the last of her birthday cake with her parents in hopes to reconnect with them one last try. She then wanders to a ruined part of the castle as she reminisces about her childhood in the song The Way It Was Before.
Run like mad to what we had.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The Way It Was Before is a really solid I Want song, showcasing Ellian's want of not only having her parents back, but reliving the warmth of her childhood days. And my favorite part of the song is the visuals. From the water drops on the piano leading into the song, to the dreamlike montages she sees while walking around the castle grounds, and the end when the castle magically fixes itself as she imagines having her parents back, it creatively matches with the lyrics and really makes the scene resonate with its audience. The spinning scene on the rooftop is literally everything I wanted but didn't get from this wish. Not to mention an overall strong performance from Rachel Zegler. Back to the movie. Ellian wakes up to find her parents running loose in the kingdom.
I didn't lock the doors.
Oh, so that's why she had to open the gates. Plot reasons.
Pop, please!
Now that the secret of the cursed royals is out, the general proposes to send the monsters away for good. After having Flink hack up the oracle's missing magical fob— oh, I forgot about the fob. Earlier in the movie, Sunny told Luno that he traded his 6 wands for a magical fob, with colorful buttons that each serve a different type of magic. Because I guess each type of magic needs its own wand? I don't know, I think the movie just wants to introduce a cool looking magic item and also make a haha the old guy can't use technology because he's old joke. Even though Luno looks like he's in his 30s or 40s, and the technology inept 40-year-old joke stopped working by the 2020s, because if you're 40 in 2025, then that means you worked with technology for most of your life. After having Flink hack up the oracle's missing magical fob, Ellian contacts them as the final resort to save her parents. They agree to meet her at their home in the dark forest of eternal darkness.
So dark, they named it twice.
And so she and Flink use the fob to get the parents out of the kingdom in a magical chase sequence.
Drop 'em!
Yeah, the movie's humor gets a bit too modern for me, which I guess is what you expect from the co-director of Shrek. But the movie isn't trying to be a parody or a play on the fairy tale musical genre, so stuff like this just makes the moment stand out in a bad way. Also, while the chase sequence has its moments, such as the magical banners moving like acrobats or the wave gates lifting itself like a skirt, the entire kingdom feels too enormous. There's just a lot of empty space in the backgrounds, and it results in a setting that looks too unoccupied for a supposedly large, thriving kingdom. Like, why are the arches so high? Why are the gates so big and running that much water? Do you know how loud running water is? There's no way these people are able to hear each other's directions. It would just end up like...
What?
Now, I think the forest having this giant scale is actually pretty neat. The large, dense trees create this disorienting feeling that you're immediately lost with no sense of direction. But when every part of your world is on the same enormous scale, it really diminishes the experience of being lost in a foreign area. You know, Toy Story has a larger-than-life feel with their environments, but it's for world-building reasons, and the space gets occupied by large humans, so it feels larger than life without ever feeling empty. SpongeBob also did it perfectly in Club SpongeBob when they got lost in the kelp forest.
Come on, who would be cooking pasta in the middle of the dark forest? Who?
Girly Pop? You're literally out here looking for someone's house. Oh, it's just for the classic hoo-hoo owl joke. Haha, good one, movie. So, Ellian and Bolinar, who by the way is now in Flink's body, because they needed a low-voiced talking animal sidekick who isn't too animal-brained,
My butt found it.
meet up with Sunny and Luno at their home. I guess the bright side here is that Bolinar is voiced by John Lithgow, aka Lord Farquaad from Shrek, for entertainment value. However, I must say that thanks to my recent Dexter binge, all I can hear is the Trinity Killer.
Fucking pussy!
Anyways, it's here we get my favorite song from the movie, Look for the Light.
Or where they've been. So go!
Look for the Light is a very fun song. It's hopeful, the visuals are sparkly, and while the choreography isn't much to sing home about, the character performances from the cast really sells it for me. Mainly Titus Burgess as Sunny and Nathan Lane as Luno. Both actors are Broadway performers, but they each have a different strength in their singing. Titus's voice is very pretty, while Nathan's is character voice oriented, and it makes them a fun duo to listen to. Does that make sense? I just really love these gay oracle uncles, okay? During the song, we find out that Ellian's parents were cursed by the darkness because they lost their inner lights. So now they must follow the beacons to the Lake of Light in order to recover them.
Sure, woohoo! I'm a princess.
In an attempt to hide from the general, our characters come across a giant magical tree trunk tunnel that converts sounds to solid energy. But when Bolinar decides to say something mean-spirited, the energy turns malignant. Ellian struggles to keep her parents from fighting each other, and her thoughts summon the darkness.
I thought you said you didn't have any dark feelings.
I didn't think I did.
Desperate to save her, the monsters regain their former voices and dissolve all negative energies. I know this all sounds dumb, but I really don't know how else to explain this. And it's here we're reintroduced to Ellian's parents. King Solon, voiced by Javier Bardem, and Queen Elsmere, voiced by Nicole Kidman. Alright, Lisan Al-Gaib Dad, or We Come to This Place for Magic Mom. With her parents' voices restored, Ellian is happy to be spending time with them again, despite some minor setbacks.
There must be so much you want to say to me.
I have to release liquid from inside myself.
Okay, it is a little funny that Javier Bardem is putting more of a performance here than he did playing Triton in the recent remake, right?
And kind.
He's a human! You're a mermaid!
Yes.
But anyways, our group reaches their first beacon, only to find the second one missing. And Ellian starts yelling out some good old beacon puns.
Bring me the beacon! Beacon for 4, please!
Fuck it, I'll even add one. How about... Can I get me a bacon, egg, and cheese?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
While waiting and stargazing, Ellian helps her parents jog back memories in the song Remembering.
I remember hush sounds.
I will say this, it's kinda cool that they kept the parents' limited vocabulary throughout the song, playing with different word combinations as they slowly try to figure out who they were before. However, the downside to that is I will never really remember the song outside of its melody, and even then, I doubt this one will stick with me that much. The second beacon ignites when Elsmere remembers Ellian's name, and the group continues forward. Meanwhile, we see that the general and the ministers are hot on their trail, thanks to Flink's love for nuts. Also, I guess the wage gap exists in this fantasy world.
How do you make more money than me?
That's real nice. Love to see that. Back to the task at hand, the king and queen try to make sense of who Ellian is as they make their way to the Sand Ocean Desert. where shade liquefies the sand while light solidifies it. It's like a game of Shadowlands, but you die. For real life. Ellian caught Bolinar breadcrumbing, but who cares really, because the general caught up to them. As the group crossed the sand ocean desert, Sullen and Ellesmere's argument over their different plans and Ellian's frustration with them picking sides brought forth a storm as well as the darkness.
Don't make me choose between you!
Wait, is this whole movie about divorce? Struggling to stay afloat, Ellian redirects her parents' energies to save a family of griffins, and the storm finally calms down. After escaping from the general with the griffins, our characters find some downtime while waiting for the next beacon. Okay, there may have been a small singing detour involving Bolinar making a peace treaty with the Wild Flinks, but I hate the song, and that thing he eats looks so disgusting. So just... no. Like, why talk about that when I can direct you to this small bit where the Griffin dad is so proud of his gremlin kid? Like, yeah, she's a little shithead, but she's my little shithead. Back to the task at hand, Sullen remembers Ellian as his daughter, and the family's reunion lights the third beacon pointing directly towards the Lake of Light. Did you need a beacon to tell you that's the Lake of Light? I feel like anyone can tell you that's the Lake of Light. And so our journey has finally come to an end. Except the lake refuses to let the parents in.
Let me in. Let me in.
Sure, woohoo! I'm a princess.
Thanks to the lake's vision of their final fight, Sullen and Ellesmere realize that they haven't been in love for a long time, and their anger from the broken relationship was the reason for their curse.
The anger. We let it consume us.
After agreeing to not return to their toxic relationship, the parents tell Ellian that they're separating immediately and need to establish some boundaries before they turn back. This becomes Ellian's breaking point. Believing that her parents are abandoning both their family and love for her, she lashes out at their lack of care and love over the past year through the song What About Me?
I had to grow up on my own. What about that?
On the surface, What About Me is an emotionally heavy song. It paints a pretty vivid picture of a child's emotional baggage and stress when forced to grow up faster under parental neglect. But here's the thing about the story beat. The song is the only thing really carrying the scene here. Sure, the song is engaging, but the character performance feels very stilted in contrast. This is a song with some big, messy emotions. It's turbulent, completely going against the softness from Ellian's previous songs because she's no longer able to keep it together. I mean, she just lost the hope that was driving her, and you can hear it in Rachel's performance. Yet her movements here aren't showing that. She just looks constipated the whole time. But there's also a bigger problem at work here. Ellian has no character.
She's the calm and mature one.
Is she though? The movie says that, but she's giving quirky girl number 27. And it doesn't help that the foil character she gets in the movie is Bolinar, this grumpy, pessimistic, mellowed out guy. Their interactions continue to paint Ellian as this bubbly, optimistic girl who is clearly overcompensating for the stress she's under. Which can be a fine personality if the songs weren't already painting her as a quiet, contemplating type who is put together and mature enough to run a kingdom. Song Ellian and movie Ellian are two very different characters, which results in a protagonist that isn't memorable at all and doesn't really grab its audience's heart.
Words! I don't believe you!
Were we still in the song, or No? Oh, okay, so she's just talking, and that's an actual line. Ellian gets consumed by the darkness. But before the king and queen can chase after her, the general captures them. And with muzzles this time, because we can't have them immediately talk for plot reasons. And by plot reasons, I mean Bolinar's Flink army shenanigans. This movie is so funny, guys. It's so funny.
Sure, woohoo, I'm a princess.
Now that that's over, we return to Ellian losing herself in the darkness, where old memories haunt her. As a last resort to calm her down, Ellesmere and Solon work together to pour all the light from the lake into Ellian's darkness. We then get the song What About Us, where the parents apologize for their neglect and remind Ellian of their love for her.
I don't know quite how, but we forgot.
I don't know why it has to be said in song form, other than milking Alan Menken and Glenn Slater as much as they can, obviously. Huh. Never mind, I guess I do know. Anyways, what's more important here is the reprise for The Way It Was Before, where Ellian understands that her parents' love for her and vice versa is what really makes a family, and comforts her inner child about the big change.
Families don't all grow in one straight line.
And it's a really sweet message for families that also experience similar big changes in their life. Because being a family isn't about following a certain structure, it's about the love that connects each member to each other, even when the romantic love between parents fade. Now, I don't know how effective this message is coming from Spellbound, because if we're being honest, this conflict really came and went in the last 15 minutes of the movie, and that's including the shenanigans. Like, compared to Despicable Me and its message about adoptive families. Both are mainstream animated movies that focus on love between parents and their children, yet I see Despicable Me's message as more effective because it spends the entire movie reinforcing it. I'm not saying that Spellbound failed to show us love within families here. It didn't, but it's all in past tense, remembering and rebuilding what is lost and broken. And if they're choosing to focus on what's missing from the past, the movie should have opened with the family before the curse. Show the audience what their love was like, and let that act as the story's emotional anchor. Immerse us in the past our character yearns for. On top of that, I also think the movie should have been constantly providing us with different families and their love for each other in order to balance out Ellian's journey with her family. Maybe one of Ellian's friends has a single parent, or the Oracles could have a kid of their own, or maybe one of the Griffins is in a step family. Show Ellian what really connects families together, so that when the time comes for her to comfort her inner child, it doesn't just feel like the movie is pushing out a message, but a character teaching the lesson she learned from her journey.
But I love you. You love me.
But I think all of that is ultimately ignoring the big problem with this conclusion, and that's the journey doesn't reflect the message. While the physical journey is Ellian and her parents going to the Lake of Light, the emotional journey is about Ellian learning to deal with her dark feelings, and the parents finding the light that was once inside them. Hear me out. We see Ellian at the beginning of the movie trying to hold everything together through sheer positivity. When she finds out that she does have dark feelings, she suppresses them until her breaking point, and her emotional journey ends when she accepts her dark feelings and is honest with her parents.
Everyone has dark feelings. It's how you deal with them that counts.
On the other hand, Solon and Ellesmere's conflict is rooted in their stubbornness and unwillingness for change. Their final argument highlights that 1, they don't effectively communicate, and 2, they only want to do things their way. But through their journey to the Lake of Light, The parents learn to calm down when things get too heated, and they each have their own strengths and flaws. We even see Ellesmere try to self-reflect and heal in remembering. The final step to their journey should be Sullen and Ellesmere taking responsibility for their actions and learning to compromise in order to find the light within them and save themselves from the darkness. But that's not what we got. Instead, Sullen and Ellesmere watched their final argument and immediately jumped to divorce, ignoring the root of their problems.
We stopped bringing out the best in each other.
12 seconds later.
We can't be together anymore.
And when Ellian is honest about her feelings, they just go, "Oh, we forgot to say we love you and how much we care about you." Like, yes, but no? You're not solving your problems. I know your character growth is about finding your light through change, but not like this, man. And Ellian accepting change doesn't complete her character arc because she was already good with adapting to changes. Yes, she's eager to restore what she had in the past, but that's not because she can't deal with change. It's because she's not honest about the hurt and loss this yearning stems from. This entire final act screams reverse engineering, because the conclusion and message we got to only makes sense when you watch the final 15 minutes on its own. But hey, it's still better than luck though, cause it actually has a message, I guess. Whatever, I'm done. Fast forward a year later, and we find Ellian's family stronger than before. The king and queen are now officially separated, living on different sides of the kingdom. Sullen has a divorced dad beard, but looks to be communicating with Ellesmere about raising their daughter together.
Fine. 10.
I'll let you know when she gets home.
And Ellian celebrates her 16th birthday with a final song. Ew, she's staring at me again. And that's Spellbound. Where do I start?
Sure, woohoo, I'm a princess.
Spellbound is an odd experience, to put it nicely. The lighting and textures look good, but the animation is stiff. Characters range from endearing to forgettable, and the story focuses on the physical journey while ignoring characters' emotional growth until the last 15 minutes. Even the songs have more misses than hits. The only good things this movie has going for it are the soundtrack and voice acting, which at the end of the day can only carry the movie so far. One of the weirdest things about Spellbound is its tone. The first half of the movie is filled with modern jokes that usually occupy parody fairytale movies such as Shrek. Yet the second half plays it completely straight. I would say the whiplash ruined the movie, but there's not enough commitment from either side for me to strongly feel that. And that's the worst thing I can say about the movie. Its lack of commitment to its story, characters, and songs created something that I will not care for after this video is over. Spellbound is a 5 out of 10. Hi! Thank you for watching, and thank you for 40k subscribers? That's wild, that's crazy. Anyways, I hope you're having a good year so far, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!